Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in today's episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session that I did with a very successful woman who had climbed her career, was doing very, very well, and had faced the challenge of feeling resourceful in certain communication dynamics. And some of those dynamics were with someone that she felt potentially intimidated by, or was worried that this person would trigger an automatic response that would then affect how she was perceived in this organization. Now, all of these things are very understandable, but it's sometimes difficult to change something consciously if it is an unconscious response. And I think a lot of us in pressured situations or when we're triggered, we kind of communicate and then we kind of criticize ourselves afterwards and think, why did I say that? Or why did I come across in that way? And these are learning opportunities if you've got some kind of structure or system to integrate the lesson to make you a better communicator in those contexts. So in this hypnosis session, what you're going to hear is an element of associating into a highly resourceful state. And I think most people know someone that they are an excellent communicator with. It might be a best friend, it might be a parent or a family member, but there's probably someone that you are an amazing communicator with. Now, the purpose isn't to replicate the style of communication, but to access the resourceful feeling. So if you felt that way with your boss, or if you felt that way with someone else, you're going to be in a more resourceful state. And that's what this hypnosis session is designed to do. If you're listening to this and you want to hear it without the intro, so this intro and all the other bits, so like the pre-recorded intro music and that kind of stuff, you can get a copy of this completely free by going to my website, adamcox.co.uk, click the download section, and if you use the coupon code FREE, you can get this audio download completely free of charge. If you're listening to this and you're thinking it might be useful to have something customized for you to enable you to maybe be more effective at work or more effective in your life, there will also be a link nearby to this recording where you can book a free 30-minute consultation call with me, and I can explain how I would work with you as an individual. But for now, to make the most of this session, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in a feeling of calm and relaxation, and as you exhale, just allow feelings of any worry, tension or stress to leave your body. Breathing in a resourceful feeling of relaxation, and as you exhale, just allowing that feeling of any tension to leave your body in your outward breath. That's right. And notice that with your eyes closed, you can give more of your attention to the sound of my voice. And the more you focus on the sound of my voice, the better able you are to slowly allow your body to release any feelings of tension, worry, stress, allowing my voice to take you on a journey to access highly resourceful states that mean that the future is on a different trajectory to the past. That's it. Breathe in and breathe out. Just notice, scan your body for where you feel that tension. and give permission for you to let go of that tension. Tension is useful in certain circumstances. You can't walk without tension. You can't move without tension. But here, now, that tension is not needed. And as you release the tension, you open up a portal to your subconscious mind. The interface between your conscious and your unconscious. We can call it your imagination. Because when you're remembering something, a good memory, don't you go back to that moment and almost feel like you're reliving it? You can call it a memory, you can call it your imagination, but those good feelings are linked to just what's happening in your own mind. And as your imagination increases, your body relaxes. And I want you to make a picture just in your mind's eye of a safe place, a relaxing place, a place that you can go to feel yourself. And imagine that you're in that place. Look around and see what you see. But pay more attention than you normally would. The surroundings. The feeling of the air on your skin. The temperature. The colour of anything around you. Notice how fast you're breathing in and breathing out, and just allow yourself to breathe out a little bit more than you normally would. And in doing so, activate the lower part of your lungs. All too often we get used to breathing from the throat or the chest, but as you breathe out a little more, notice that you start breathing from the belly rather than breathing from the chest, and when you do that, you release different neurotransmitters that enable you to feel good for no reason other than you're just breathing in that way. And here in this safe place, as you look around, I want you to get a sense of what it would be like to make yourself comfortable and just relax here in this place. What would it be like to have a nap in this place? And imagine that you're on the most comfortable chair possible, that you're lying on that chair and you can take all the weight off your body and just release any tension in your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, and just feel like you're sinking into that comfortable chair in this relaxing place. And as you do so, release the tension around your eyes, your forehead, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, for no other reason than it feels good to let go of that tension now. That's it, deeper and deeper, relaxed. And I want you to imagine as you relax there on that chair, inside your mind you're imagining a staircase. And maybe it's a spiral staircase, or maybe it's one of those grand marble staircases that you can see in big hotels or stately homes. But imagine that you're at the top of a staircase, looking down. I will count down from 10 to 1, and you will imagine taking a step with each descending number, and each descending number takes you 10% deeper and deeper, relaxed. That's right. Standing at the top of that staircase, and 10, taking a step down the staircase, feeling 10% deeper and deeper, relaxed. 9, another step down the staircase, releasing any tension around your neck, your shoulders, your arms, that's it. And then 8, another step down the staircase, feeling like you're going deeper into your subconscious with each and every descending step. 7, that's it, another step down into your subconscious. 6, deeper and deeper now, feeling so deeply relaxed. That's right. And then 5, halfway down that staircase, feeling that something has changed in your body and something has changed in your mind, and then that's it. 4, releasing that tension. Now, that's it. Perhaps feeling a tingling sensation in your toes, your fingers, finding it easier to breathe in and breathe out deeper, noticing when you swallow and noticing when you feel a desire to release that tension. That's it. 3 and then 2, and then feel like you're getting close to the bottom of that staircase. The bottom of the staircase just means a deeper part of your subconscious mind. That's right. I want you to get a sense that you're close to the bottom of the staircase. 2 and then 1, and then you're at the bottom of the staircase. That's right. And there's a door nearby, a door to your subconscious mind and the powerful parts of your imagination. And just imagine what it would be like to walk towards that door, open the door, and walk in. And as you walk in, find yourself in a well-lit, bright room with nothing other than you. And when you're in that room, just let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Imagine this as the supercomputer of your mind. This is where changes take place. Imagine this is like the holodeck you might find in science fiction TV shows, where you can create anything that is useful. And I want you to imagine that you are hallucinating a person that you feel at your most resourceful when you communicate with them. Maybe it's a friend, a colleague that you respect, someone that you just know well, that you can effortlessly communicate, that you subtly but effectively communicate your boundaries. There's always a friendly yet firm way of dealing with anything that oversteps the mark. That if this person was rude, you would let them know that it's not acceptable. But if they pay you a compliment, you would warmly receive it. And when you can imagine someone like that, someone that you are at your best when it comes to communication, when that person is the person you're communicating with, just let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to scan your body for where you feel that resourceful feeling of being a great communicator. And when you can locate it, you can point to it. Just allow your intuition to show you where it might be. That's it. We're going to use the power of your imagination to create something that psychologists would call a mnemonic, a memory tool, so you can activate this feeling whenever you need it. I want you to imagine a 3-dimensional shape right there in that location. It could be anything. Pyramid, a cube, sphere, cylinder. You decide what it is, but place it in the very location where you feel resourceful as a communicator. And then give that 3-dimensional shape a color. Any color will do. But whatever color comes to mind is the right color for that resource. And then, just with your hand, show me how that shape is moving, because it may be still, but it may be pulsating or rotating or spinning, and just show me with your hand how that shape is moving. That's right. And this is a resourceful feeling, and I want you to imagine what it would be like to increase the speed of that movement. You don't need to use your hand, you can just use your imagination to imagine that shape in that location speeding up. And there will be an optimum point, a speed or rhythm at which the feeling of resourcefulness of you as a communicator is at its peak. If it goes too fast, starts to diminish, and then move it back to the optimum speed where you feel at your most resourceful. And when it's there, let me know by nodding your head. And then the color that you gave this shape that is now moving at that rhythm, turn up the brightness until it starts to glow. If it was too bright, it would be like looking at the sun and it would lose its power, but there will be a brightness where you can retain the color and it will still start to shimmer or glow like a halo. And when it's at the optimum color and moving at the optimum speed, let me know by nodding your head. And feel that in this feeling, you can communicate better than you've ever communicated before. Even if you were criticized or insulted, deep down you just know that you could handle that effortlessly. There are people that walk down the street worried that someone would attack them. But if you were a championship martial artist walking down the street, you would have the mindset that it doesn't matter what anyone does, that you could just handle that situation. I want you to imagine right now that that's how you're feeling as a communicator. There aren't things that you need to avoid or hide from. Just know that you now have the resources to handle with any communication situation in the most resourceful way possible. And then attach a sound to that three-dimensional moving shape glowing in that color at that brightness. When you've decided on what that sound is, just let me know by nodding your head. And increase the volume until it's the perfect volume to amplify that feeling of resourcefulness even more. And then increase the size of that three-dimensional shape at that brightness with that sound. Gets too big, it starts to lose the resourcefulness, but there will be an optimum size where you've never felt so resourceful as a communicator. And when you feel like that is the feeling, I want you to make a physical movement that you could do in any situation if you're communicating. I like to wiggle my toes because nobody can see that I'm doing it. But you can pick something that is physical for you, that only you will know what you're doing. And the moment you make that motion, feel that shape in that location, at that brightness, with that sound, moving in that way, feeling more resourceful as a communicator than you've ever felt, and link it to that physical movement, knowing that you can feel this way whenever you want to. And then I want you to imagine that this person in front of you is starting to change. You've seen those videos where in about 10 seconds any person could morph into any other person, but I want you to imagine that that resourceful feeling is linked to the person in front of you, and they are gradually morphing to someone that perhaps you would be intimidated to communicate with. That maybe there's been times in the past that you haven't been at your most resourceful. But I want you to maintain that feeling of resourcefulness while this person in front of you gradually morphs into someone that you would like to be able to be at your most resourceful when you're communicating to them. And maybe they're looking at you, holding eye contact in a particular way, and that just amplifies your resourcefulness. Maybe they have a tone of voice or a way of talking that maybe in the past has triggered you, but notice now it just makes that spinning, glowing shape glow even more, making you feel more resourceful. Maybe there's other things. Maybe it's how they're dressed. They've now completely morphed into someone that maybe in the past you haven't been at your most resourceful, and yet here you are feeling incredibly resourceful and they're standing right in front of you. You can't explain it, but it feels good. That they could say anything and you could respond. And now we do what athletes call training at altitude. They jog in the high hills, in the mountains, with less oxygen, so that when they return to sea level, their body is even more efficient. I want you to imagine this person in front of you saying something that absolutely would have triggered you in the past. Maybe they're critical. Maybe they've just accused you of something you haven't done. Maybe they're insulting you. Maybe they've arrived at a false assumption. But imagine their words, their tonality, and their voice coming out of their mouth, and just make that physical movement in your body. Feel the most resourceful you can ever feel as a communicator. And notice that whatever the previous emotional reaction would have been just isn't there. They call it the law of dominant effect, that the strongest emotion will displace a weaker emotion. So here, right now, this person is saying something that would have triggered you, and yet now you feel even more resourceful. And you already know that there are many things that you could say, and I want you to imagine that here in this safe space, you can test out all the different things that you could say. You can test out 3 things or 4 things or even 5 or 6 things, and then your intuition will tell you which is the best one. Maybe it's a tingling sensation. Maybe that shape starts to pulsate or glow or feel like it's moving at a different rhythm, but your body will tell you which is the best one, the best response, and also when to deliver that response. Allow your mind to consider these possibilities. Imagine the trigger, word or phrase or whatever it might be being said. Process that. And then test out different scenarios of how you could respond and when you could respond. And when it feels like you found one that fits, that would be a good response to that trigger, just let me know by nodding your head. Knowing that you can go back to this point whenever you want and try out lots of different triggers and lots of different responses, knowing that each time you do it, you're like Neo in the Matrix learning a martial art. That when you go back to reality, things that used to make you feel a certain way now make you feel very different. You are unlocking the ability to be not just a good communicator, but a great communicator. And if this feels good, that you can break down triggers and access highly resourceful states, and know that the more you do this, the better you get, just let me know by nodding your head. Your subconscious mind now has an accelerated learning strategy for you to become the best communicator ever. And you already know that the better communicator you are, the more successful you will become. The better the quality of your communication, the better the quality of your life. And therefore you're excited. You're excited because even if you are triggered, you can go back to this space, replay that trigger, but test out all the different responses, meaning that even when communication doesn't go right for you, it's the quickest way for you to learn. A true warrior learns more from their losses than they do from their wins. You're training, but also reflecting, meaning there can only be one outcome. That you evolve to be the best communicator possible for you. And that evolution has no limit. There isn't a point at which you can't become even better. And that's what's so exciting. You now have an area of your life that can accelerate the quality of your life, your impact on the world, and the possibilities for success on any metric. all it takes is your imagination and your intuition. Now time to leave this place, but you leave taking that feeling of resourcefulness when it comes to communication with you. Imagine walking through that door, going back up that staircase, and then remembering that the staircase wasn't even real. It's just your imagination. And that actually, maybe you're asleep on a chair in a safe, secure place. As you feel yourself in that chair, you recall that even the chair isn't real. All of this is just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and actually, you're listening to my voice firmly in the present. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're in your own physical body right now, feeling all sensations in your arms and legs and feeling 100% in the present. Because very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, and you will awaken feeling resourceful, feeling that glowing shape right there where you are the most resourceful communicator you can be, and knowing that you can trigger this whenever you think of that shape, that sound, that color, that glow, and do that physical sensation. You can access this highly resourceful state in a second. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.